Hey YouTube, Errol here. Today as always, I'm Chiefin and you're geeking with the Comic Chief. Today we will be reviewing Jason Aaron's Avengers number 699.
Whosoever watches this channel, if he or she be worthy, shall acquire the knowledge from the Comic Chief.
The original cover was drawn by Marquez and Marcio Menes, which will be scrolling in the backdrop, but I ended up going with the Marvel Knights 20th anniversary cover. Black Widow on the front was pretty awesome. I like the cover so much, I got it even though it was the last manhandled one at my LCS. The art throughout the issue was pretty great. Punzor did a great job, and whenever I see underwater scenes, I tend to critique it a lot more. But yeah, well done. The only thing that bothers me about this issue is dialogue underneath water. How? I don't know. Yes, the art was fantastic. The writing was also great. Namor stole this issue away, and is this a reintro to Namor? I've seen him a lot on a lot of cover spotlights recently, but yeah, good. The plot was great. I love how this whole arc stems from the aftermath of the Final Host stuff. We start the issue days earlier, somewhere in the Mid-Atlantic, with the Avengers racing toward the Atlanteans. I don't see T'Challa, who was just appointed the new leader / chairperson in the last issue, and for some reason it looks like Captain America is still leading the team. Which, I mean, come on, he's a captain, and once a captain, always a leader, but I don't know. Or is it because this is occurring days earlier? Is he still the leader? But it still doesn't make sense. But yeah, the Atlanteans are racing towards the Avengers and they are preparing for war. A battle ensues. Cap and Iron Man are standing back to back looking for Namor. She-Hulk and Captain Marvel seem to be having an easy time fending off the fish, and Ghost Rider is in his Hell Charger with dozens of Atlanteans tearing it apart. We see Thor attempt to stop an Atlantean for blowing his horn to call in for reinforcements, but he's too late. Robbie Reyes finds himself in the mouth of what I thought to be a seamount, but it was actually a giant sea creature enraged. These panels are my favorite, drawn in the book, with Ghost Rider being swallowed whole by that sea creature, full of fire inside of him, trying to escape. His dialogue was also better written this time. The jokes weren't over the top, and they made me chuckle. Thor and Iron Man team up and start attacking the sea monster. Meanwhile, in the ruins of the Atlantean territories, we find T'Challa looking for Namor. Okay, so this is where T'Challa was. Got it. He finds a desolate underwater wasteland. The Atlantean people weren't in the best living conditions. T'Challa meets his match as Namor comes swimming toward him and gets his first attack. As they tussle, we gather that Namor not only has a problem with surface dwellers, but he really has a problem with Black Panther. If you can fill me in on the comment section below, what did Wakanda do to the Atlanteans, I'd like to know. As the rest of the Avengers approach the fight, we get to see the true strength of Namor. Wow, is he angry. Oh, I forgot, he was in Thor #1. I've got to go back and start reading and reviewing those. But yeah, Namor is able to stop Thor's hammer and Iron Man's attack at the same time. The power of a god. They ask Captain Marvel to finish him off, and she sends a large blast his way. The dialogue was pretty stupendous between Carol and Namor too. He calls her a wench. She says he's gross, and this guy has a nerve to headbutt her? How rude. She-Hulk attempts to protect her fellow woman's honor, and Gamma Blast bombs him where he's standing. But Namor the Submariner's sheer power is so vast, it looked like that didn't even lay a scratch on him. As Namor is about to counter Hulk, Robbie Reyes does a hit and run, but the run part failed because Namor picks up his Hell Charger over his head. This is when the fearless Captain America steps in and tells him to stop. He's able to calm him down because, well, you know, they have that World War II history together and Namor clearly respects him. So he's finally able to bring Namor down a few levels, and we learn that Namor wants justice for the slaughter of the Atlanteans at the end of the previous issue. He is sick and tired of the surface people polluting their lands and the Atlanteans having to live in them. Quick poll, Namor versus Aquaman. Go. Okay, so we soon find out that the Celestials that came down to rain destruction on Earth were also reaching the far depths of Atlantis, and also learned that Black Panther offered to repair the Atlantean rubble, but Namor refused. Now his people were living in poverty, so Roger's negotiation skills allowed the Avengers to walk away with the fishermen responsible for the slaughter of the Atlanteans, and Namor tells them to never come back again. T'Challa and Captain America know they needed to put the fishermen as far away from the ocean as possible to stand trial. Namor's pride just seems so strong. His narration justifies why he refused help from Wakanda. As he goes to a nearby cave to bring children to the royal palace, they scour away from him and swim away. The next page shows us Namor, present day, in the Pacific depths. We find out what ultimately drives Namor toward the path he is about to choose. The children swam away from Namor because under his rule, they were living in poverty. And Atlantean children in the Pacific were so hungry they walked onto a beach in search of food but died because they weren't able to withstand the poisonous air. Humans on the beach laughed at them and didn't help them as if they were flopping fish. So the short truths between Namor and the Avengers was over. Even though the fishermen were moved to a prison facility in New Mexico, Namor was able to punish them and drown them in their cells by flooding via their toilets with seawater. Gross. Okay, game on. Namor was ready for war, and the final page shows us Namor standing in front of his newly formed team, the Defenders of the Deep. He was a supreme commander and ready to protect the oceans from whatever came their way. Fantastic story. I'm so glad I'm chugging along on these Avenger reviews because they absolutely don't disappoint. So yes, that's all I've got, YouTube. This is a Comic Chief going offline.